great crested newts stall Ed Sheeran's plans for a Saxon chapel for private contemplation in grounds of his sprawling Suffolk estate. Pop star Ed Sheeran's plans to build a private chapel on his estate has been put on hold, because of great crested newts. The singer-songwriter has been forced to commission experts to hunt for the protected amphibians around his sprawling property near Framlingham, Suffolk. After he submitted plans for the Saxon-style structure to the local council, concerns were raised by the Suffolk Wildlife Trust. It said there were records of great crested newts in the area in 2015, and it is possible that ponds within the site boundaries could be breeding sites for this species. A search of the surrounding area will now have to be completed to make sure the singer will not be breaking the law by disturbing the amphibians' habitat. The proposed chapel includes a 48-foot tower and would stand in a new area of woodland which the four-time Grammy winner has planted just yards behind his mansion near his hometown of Framlingham. It would hold a congregation of around 24, and in the application it says it is every person's right to be able to have a place of retreat for contemplation and prayer, for religious observance, celebration of key life and family milestones, marriages, christenings and so forth. The plans were submitted just a month after Mr. Sheeran announced his engagement to girlfriend Cherry Seaburn. A wedding license would be needed if he planned to marry there. Great crested newts, Britain's largest newt species, have declined over recent years and are now legally protected. It is illegal to disturb the animals or obstruct access to areas where they live and breed, with the protected area extending up to 550 yards from their breeding ponds, the Wildlife Trust said. Paul Smith, of Apex Planning Consultants, said, "The applicant has responded promptly to this matter and has also commissioned an appropriate survey that will identify the presence of great crested newts or otherwise, propose mitigation measures as appropriate and recommend measures to enhance biodiversity. These could include bat boxes, swift nesting boxes and native planting," he said. "We were not aware of the historical presence of great crested newts nearby and certainly believe that none exist in the pond nearby to the application site," he added. Mr. Smith also addressed concerns from people who claim the planned chapel would be unsightly and could draw celebrity spotters to the area. Responding to one objector who contends that the chapel will attract attention from the public and media, Mr. Smith said it would be sited on private land approximately 230 meters from the road. "Therefore we do not agree that at such distance from public land and views it will generate the attention the objector, purports," he wrote. Indeed, his argument somewhat demonstrates why the applicant requires a private chapel for private non-denominational contemplation. He said claims that the chapel would be a blot on the landscape, destroying views were not based on facts and discredit the high-quality architecture. He added that it is common for Suffolk churches to be located on the edge of or outside settlements. Often, but not entirely because of the 14th-century post-plague relocations of villages, this relationship is strongly characteristic of the area, he said. It is also the case that private chapels are generally sited away from their host houses for the purpose of providing a visible feature in the landscape encouraging the contemplation of the viewer. The proposal is the latest in a string of developments at the star's country estate, which has been dubbed Sheeranville by locals. Mr. Sheeran has already built a treehouse with conical roofs on a raised platform, a 26 feet by 26 feet pod described by villagers as a hobbit hole, a hot tub, a covered swimming pool and a wildlife pond. He has also converted a barn into his own pub and recently got permission to build an underground cinema and music room. Mr. Sheeran, who is said to be worth £40 million, paid £895,000 for his large modern detached farmhouse in June 2012. It was revealed in January that he had also snapped up 3 other neighboring houses and nearby farmland to create his own 16-acre estate. An expected decision date on the latest planning application is not available, the council's website said.